The only side of the ball that was consistent for us all season long. Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, and AJ Brown were the only 4 playmakers that were consistent for this team all season long, that kept that same motherfucking energy from when we started 8-0 up into the Super Bowl. Because if I recall, it wasn't Jalen, it wasn't Devontae, it wasn't AJ, it wasn't Dallas Goedert who came up short in the Super Bowl. It was the darn defense. Okay? So at the end of the day, do we want to drop all this money on these guys that didn't show up when it mattered? What's up? What's happening? What is popping, you guys? Welcome back to another great edition of SymoneWithTheSports. I'm Symone, bringing you guys daily sports talk. So if you're new here, if you're older here, you haven't already subscribed to my channel, stop what you're doing, leave a comment, subscribe, keep rocking with me. Also, make sure you check out the links down below. The first one is to buy me a coffee to help fuel this channel. The second link is to shop the official SymoneWithTheSports merch collection. Get you the classic tee, the wavy tee, or the flower dye crew neck. And lastly, guys, if you have not done anything else, turn your notification bells on so you don't miss a single video or a single live stream. Oh, we got some things to get into, y'all. It's 4:14. It has not been reported, and you know, sometimes after the buzzer they'll be like, oh, Eagles got a deal done just in time, you know. But it's 4:20, and the Adam Schefters, the Ian Rappaports, it's been quiet, y'all. Early today, it was reported that the Eagles will likely not be using the franchise tag on any player. Obviously, we're looking out for Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, and the time has passed. And since like 11 a.m., since that came out, nothing else has came out. Not a single word, not a peep has came out of Eagles camp about anything, y'all. Anything. So Chauncey Gardner-Johnson will be able to talk to other teams, hit the market, go wherever he wants to go. And I know just because we didn't hit the tag, even though we didn't use the tag would have been about $14 or $15 million of a cap hit, which would have been extreme for us. There's still a chance he could come back to Philly. There's still a chance, you know, we make a appropriate deal and a deal he likes more than going to another team. But at the end of the day, there are other teams that have a lot more money that they would be able to offer Chauncey Gardner-Johnson than we will be able to offer just off of the cap constraints. So honestly, y'all, I'm just starting to move on, you guys, from the whole Chauncey Gardner-Johnson being back in Philly. I mean, I fought the good fight. I stayed as optimistic as I could. I put out all the good vibes. I even sent a prayer up this morning before I got out of bed that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson will return to Philly. And then again, there is still a slight chance. There's a slight chance, but when you're going up against these teams that have nobody on their roster and got a whole bunch of money they can spend on a safety, your back's kind of against the wall. So again, I'm not like fully giving up, but I'm starting the moving on process. So there's that. And again, Javon Hargrave tweeted out today, one more week with the shades emoji. Basically, shades emoji mean I'm chilling, I'm cool, I'm good. That's how I interpret that emoji. So we know what one more week means till free agency, obviously. So just two, like, not really great things coming out on the defensive side of the ball today from Philly. Now, there's that, but there are some good things, and I'm always going to remain true to this team and true to positivity. And the next things I might say, you guys might not like. You might like it, you might not like it. But at the end of the day, you either with me, against me, or you in the fucking way. So if you're not with us at this point in time, you're against us. And my love will real quick turn into some cold, hard facts. A lot of people are pointing and looking and whatever, Howie, do this, do that. Howie, why you ain't get Chauncey done? Howie, why you ain't get Javon done? But hold on. Before I get to that, there is some good news. good news. It has been reported that we are in conversations with Brandon Graham, and we're going to be likely bringing Brandon Graham back next season. Brandon Graham, 11 sacks, career year, comeback player, leader, veteran on this team in the event that we don't bring back. I mean, if Javon doesn't come back, I feel like we're going to be bringing Fletcher back. But we're bringing back, Fletcher and Brandon are kind of like those core leaders of the defensive line to me. And as long as we can bring at least one of them back, that's huge for this locker room, for this defense, whatever, great news. But also at the same time, you guys, we can't lose sight. We can't be clouded by, and again, this is not me saying I would not want Chauncey to come back. You guys know I want Chauncey to come back so bad. But at the end of the day, you got to regroup and recoup and live and die by the phrase, we all we got, we all we need. And if September comes around and Chauncey ain't on this roster, we got to be prepared to fight with what we got. And what we got is the #1 offense and the MVP. Okay? We so focused and myself included, on what we're losing on defense. We need to celebrate what we're returning on offense. Dogs, baby, leaders of this team. The only side of the ball that was consistent for us all season long. Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, Dallas Garnder, and A.J. Brown were the only 4 playmakers that were consistent for this team all season long, that kept that same motherfucking energy from when we started 8-0 up into the Super Bowl. Because if I recall, it wasn't Jalen, it wasn't Devontae, it wasn't A.J., it wasn't Dallas Goedert who came up short in the Super Bowl. It was the darn defense. Okay? So at the end of the day, do we want to drop all this money on these guys that didn't show up when it mattered? Let's just keep it a bean, keep it a buck. Javon had all them freaking sacks in the regular season, but when it came to time to get after a one-legged Patrick Mahomes, where you at with that? Yeah, like Future said, Chauncey leading the league in interceptions all this time, but when it came to the Super Bowl, where you at with that? Where was the interceptions at? So maybe this is the mindset that Howie is having. Why would we drop a big bag on guys? And I know a large part was due into Jonathan Gannon. But at the end of the day, why would we drop a big bag? I'm just saying what he might be thinking, on guys that was not there in the biggest game of the season. Okay? Because it's one thing to smack up on Daniel Jones. It's one thing to smack up on can't even think of dude's name from the Saints. It's one thing to smack up on Cooper Rush. It's one thing to smack up on whoever the Texans quarterback is. It's one thing to smack up on Carson Wentz. It's one thing to smack up on Jared Goff. But when the big boys came to town, where y'all was at? Again, the offense did what they had to freaking do all season long. So we need to celebrate the fact that we bring in the most consistent guys, and the guys who was putting us in winning positions in the Super Bowl. We need to be celebrating that. We need to stop. And like I said, when I say we, I'm including myself. I'm guilty of this. I've been on here whining and crying and boo-hoo-hooing. But at the end of the day, I'm about to turn my ship to positivity, and I'm going to trust the process with Howie. Because we're talking about all the pieces that we're losing, right, on defense. But at the end of the day, we brought the #1 defense to the Super Bowl, and that didn't matter. We still was relying on our offense to keep us in the game. So maybe it's not all that bad that we're not investing all this money in these dudes that did not perform in the biggest game that matters. That's all I'm saying. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Now, like I said, if we bring Chauncey back, great. The only way we're bringing Chauncey back is if Chauncey will take less money to stay here than go on another team, because there's going to be teams that have more money than us to throw and dangle in front of his face. If he wants to come back, amazing, superb. If he does not, we moving on. That's it. I ain't crying no tears about somebody not coming back. Now, there's certain players I would have, but at the end of the day, Chauncey doesn't have that long of a tenure. I gotta be getting real with myself. He don't have that long of a tenure for me to be over here crying boo-hoo-hooing over Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Okay? He hasn't been here that long. There are players on this team that I would boo-hoo-hoo, man, I would miss him, like a Brandon Graham, like Brandon Graham BG. Okay? He's solidified himself in Philly. Like, that's somebody I would, you know, damn, Brandon Graham in a whatever uniform, Bears, Browns, whatever. But at the end of the day, you guys, I'm not sweating. At the end of the day, I'm not sweating. Okay? Because like I said, Howie made moves last season. JALEN made moves. Howie made moves up until we couldn't make moves no more. Howie made moves. JALEN made moves. Dallas Goedert made moves. Devontae made moves. AJ Brown made moves. They all gonna be back. The guys that didn't make moves are the guys that's on the bubble. So y'all can say whatever y'all want to say. At the end of the day, we still had to, even though we brought the #1 defense, we still had to put up 40 plus points. We still would have had to put up 40 plus points to win the Super Bowl. And Howie might be thinking about that. So, like I said, I'm going to always be looking forward, never back. Because at the end of the day, you take what you got and you move. Okay? So, there's that. Also, man, next week is going to be wild. Wow. Daniel Jones got his bag. Saquon Barkley got tagged. I didn't even mean to do that little rhyme on purpose. Anyway, Daniel Jones got 4 years, $160 million. That averages about to $40 million a year. Obviously, we know Jalen's going to be making more than that. It's not too bad. I think people saying Giants took an L, whatever. That's not too bad. I mean, that's not too bad of a deal in my mind. Like, it's not too bad of a deal in my mind. I'm not hating on Daniel Jones. Is it a lot of money for Daniel Jones? Yeah, but I mean, it's hard to find a quarterback out here, guys. I get that Daniel Jones is mid, but he's a lot better than a lot other mid. And you got to, when you have somebody who is even a really good game manager like Daniel Jones is, you have to lock him up these days because it's hard to find even a decent quarterback. Is hard to find. Ask all these other franchises how hard it is to find a decent quarterback. But we know Jalen probably will be at least getting 50 mil. If Daniel Jones getting 40, 50, 60 mil a year. There's that. Was there anything else? I don't think there was anything else, but I just wanted to come on here. Obviously, I had to talk about the franchise tag. It's, y'all, in the history of the Eagles, we've only used the franchise tag 5 times in the history of the Eagles. 5 times in the history of the Eagles. So it was a long shot we were going to use it today. And that just goes to show that we believe in testing free agency. We believe in what we can do in the draft and what we can do in free agency. And how he showed us last season. So, like I said, the only people who was sitting back, we need to sit back and watch work, is Howie, Jalen, AJ, and Devontae. So let's sit back, trust the process, and let them guys work. Okay? And like I said, again, I'm not saying I wouldn't have loved to keep Chauncey. Y'all know I would have loved to keep Chauncey. I said that. I said that a billion times. If we work out something with Chauncey, we do. But at the end of the day, if we don't, it's what's best for this team. It's what's best for the team if we don't. That's all I'm saying. And at the end of the day, you got to move with what you got. You got to move on. I could sound bitter or whatever, but at the end of the day, it's the mindset you got to have in this game of life. Period. Okay? So like this video, leave a comment, subscribe. Let me know how you're feeling. Do you agree with me? Do you not? Whatever. Let me know how you're feeling down below. Like this video, leave a comment, subscribe. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.